Okay, Skyrim, this is Steven. I'm looking at a second house mod from Rosehla. Last time we looked at the Quaint cabin. Now we're looking at the Quaint Nest. It is right here. There's Shore Stone, uh, Iverstead. It's kind of like straight across the line, like I think she said somewhere. But yeah, it's not too hard to find. Okay, so I backed up some of my saves. I went back and swapped out what was the Cathedral Weathers. I'm back with Climax of Tamriel. I really wanted to pick up Serana here. Oh, okay. Come on, man. Okay. Take care of that. Yes, I recall looking at this before. There were some wolves, and I think a bear is going to come up on us here too. So anyway, let's go over here and check out the outside real quick. Here's a fishing pond, and I kind of expect a bear to come. Maybe not. Well, no, I still expect it. Here's a little dock. There are fish in here. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see one swimming right there. Catch the salmon. We have a hen house with eggs. Here's a usable stall for the horse. Canning rack. Wood chopping. Good. Provided a woodcutter's axe. Often that's missing. Quite a pretty good garden setup. Wheat, potatoes. Lots of ingredients around here. Little area here with a bench. Overall, when I first looked at this the other night, this is another pretty well laid out place. I mean, I like this thing. There's only, well, maybe two things I didn't really care much for. And that, when we get in, it is vampire themed. I've never really played a vampire. I don't know. And then I don't really like crafting stuff right by the bed, but we'll get that. Oh, here's our pet. You see that? One of the death hound type things. I don't know. I did have a lot of trouble finding the key. The first time I was here, I actually had to go back and look at the description. I mean, I was looking all over. Just right here, just to the left of the bottom step. I had to go back and look at the description. It's right there by the red mountain flower, as she said. So, all right, now on Climax of Tamriel, I'm using the warm interiors. So it's probably going to change the interior, you know, from vanilla. I'm sure it is. Hopefully we'll be able to see this on the recording, if this is in fact recording. I'm not even 100% sure right at the moment. Let's go in. I gotta get out of first person view. Okay, we have a cooking pot here. It's all workable, of course. Usually this mod and the other one, Quaint Cabin, I looked at, are really nicely set up. And why I brought Serana, as I said in my last video, I really wanted to follow her or something. I guess I could have gone to Riverwood and got Fandel pretty easily, hopped over to Whiterun, maybe picked up Janessa. But I think Serana will work. Show that the place this nav mesh, and we'll just see how she walks around. All right, so she's going to sit down. There are idle markers throughout the house, it looks like. One of them, she'll sit down on that rug. You know, maybe if we stopped outside on that, remember that rug outside, the circular one? Maybe she'll sit on that. We'll go back and take a look. But we have a grindstone anvil workbench. Now, this is the other part I don't really care about. Now, I'm guilty of it too, but the few house mods I've dabbled in, you know, having all this stuff right by your bed. I'm not sure I like that. Probably they should have been outside. You know, somebody will make a house mod and there'll be a smelter off the kitchen or something. You know what I mean? Go through this door. Get back into third-person view so I can see. Now, there are a lot of racks right here on the walls as we're going down the stairs. What's up here behind us, if anything? Can't remember. Okay. We get down here, we have another display case. There's a safe. Last time I was here, there was a dwarven war axe. I took it and put it on a rack. I'm not sure. I don't think this is a save that I had for that. Okay, there's the first thing I told you about, you know, kind of a vampire thing. The human flesh, and I guess that's a hand. There goes Serana, I guess. Well, you know, she is a vampire, okay? So, hey, maybe this house is perfect if you're going to have Serana with you. I mean, what's she going to eat? Yeah, okay, so we have an alchemy lab. What do we have here? More human butchery part, bloody rags, a human heart. You know, the potions of blood. All right, okay, so this is a pretty good house. Even if I don't play a vampire, I do like Serana. So maybe this would be a good house for her to be with. I mean, you got to think of your follower, right? Yes, you have to think of her. So I'll change my opinion there on that. But as I said, I don't really play a vampire, and if I get it, I try and get cured as fast as possible. We have some petty soul gems and things that you can actually take. All right, so Serana went and opened up the door here. So she can walk around pretty well, and I'm pretty sure that if we brought in, you know, a couple of normal followers, but using something like I use Ultimate Follower Overhaul, that old one. I think it's still the best. But if whatever one, that'll put them in relax mode. It'll work just fine. So I think that this is really laid out well. Let's take a little nap. All right, you get the rested feeling. Let's see what we have, if anything. All right, all skills improved by 5% faster. I guess if we had a wife, we'd get them all rested. Well rested. What am I saying rested for? It might be a little tight in here for both of us. But I really like this. I guess we have a cage, you know. I guess hold the victims while we're butchering them, you know, holding them until we eat them. But I guess we did go to the courtesy touch of at least giving them a bedroll. All right, there's Serana using the equipment. Now, I'm not sure what all this is looking like on the recording, because I do have a Climax of Tamriel Interiors. And I think the guy who did Climax of Tamriel really did a fantastic job. I'm using the warmer interior version, but on the dungeons I use the darker. So let's sit here. I've already tried the weapon racks. Let's see what Serana does. How she acts with the house. Wow. There she goes. Back to work. Alright, let's throw by a shadow then. Alright, there it goes. Just as I knew it would. So the racks are going to work. Alright. Other than the workstation inside, my opinion, it should be outside. This is a very nice cabin. And I've changed my mind. Oh, there goes a Serana. She was going to sit down again. If you're going to have Serana, even if you don't play a vampire, this might really be a house to consider. Because you're thinking of her too, right? Why not think of her? It's not all about us now, is it? Okay. Let's go out. Maybe we'll go back to the outside rug area and see how she idles out here. Oh, looks like she got stuck coming out. Let's go back inside. Go outside. All right. There she is. Sometimes if I get stuck somewhere, you can just, fast travel back to the same spot like this. Get everybody unstuck. Let's see if she'll do anything. Besides complain. All right, there she goes. All right, she'll at least do that. Now, I'm going to guess that there's probably more idle markers out here. And if I had a couple of followers, put them in relax mode, maybe they would sit on this round rug right there. Maybe Serana's going to do it right now. Oh, there she goes. Oh, she's going to lay down. Okay, so there are idle markers out here. Your followers will use them if you have the ability to put them in relax mode. So yeah, this is very nice. Lots of ingredients for the alchemy lab. I like it. Now we have some archery targets up here, and if you look back, I guess we can go way down there by that well and shoot up the mountain here, get some practice. We have some moonstone ore here. Now I don't recall if this is naturally here or not, and I'm not going to turn off the mod just to come back and be here and take a look. All right, we have a rough spun tunic. All right, poison, potion, potions. Now I'm not sure. Well, it looks like it's got some blood on this little table. So maybe this is for some butchering's being done. I don't know if she has an extra area. I know she had a little hidden spot on the Quaint cabin, which I really love. And I don't want to spoil that, but that is basically perfect for me. I want to go back in and show you one more thing. All right, so All right, is this a draft letter right here? This is a pretty lengthy letter, but it gives you some background on the place here. I'm not going to read it for you. You can discover that on your own. But I think it's another very nice touch. So I think that some work has been done into this mod here. And I did change my opinion. I'll say it for the 20th time. If I'm going to have Serana, this would be a house mod I would consider. And it's not too big. I mean, I've tested. Well, there's another pretty famous author that did a vampire theme. Large house over there toward, well, not too far from Florida. What is it, Graymore, over there by White Run? I mean, I had a whole crew in there with Ultimate Follower Overhauler, or maybe it was Amazing Follower Freaks. Serana and maybe 6 others, 5 others at least. That house was good for that, but this is good for you and maybe 1 follower. Maybe you could squeeze in 2. Right now, I don't know if you can see anything because I've got Climates of Tamriel Darker Nights. Yeah, I love that. So I think we'll wrap this up right here. I think this is definitely a house mod to look at. It's usable even, if you don't have Serana and you're not playing the vampire. But I think better if you at least have Serana with you. And I know you can't see her now or anything because I can't see either. And that's why I like Climates of Tamriel in the darker nights. But there are lights outside. I mean, while we are in the dark here at night, you can see some lights shining up. Now, the vanilla, maybe it would even be better. But hopefully this came out, and I think we're going to call this a wrap. Steven out.